crazy story, getting crazy by the day. Let me give y'all the brief basics. This dude, 23 years old, aspiring rapper, went to college, sold a little weed. Uh, Everybody liked him on the college campus. Tried to do a drug deal one day. Ended up shooting. This marijuana, by the way. Ended up shooting one of the college kids in the chest. Of course, they took him to jail. Let him out. First time felon, first time offense. Sealed his records. And fast forward, I'm going to read it verbatim. That is just man, this is crazy. Always, what's up with ATL and rappers? And this starting to look like a premeditated plot. But check it out. With common sense, I'll tell y'all what's up. Let me read this. This is a story, by the way. Golf course shooting suspect Brian Anthony Roden knew two of the men he is accused of killing on July 3rd. Additionally, a source who knew one of the men confirmed Roden, 23, had a previous association with Henry Valdez and Paul Pearson. Henry Valdez is from California. Paul Pearson is from Topeka. The two victims' bodies were discovered by Cobb County Police in the back of a Dodge Ram pickup truck. They had been bound, gagged, and fatally shot. The truck had been abandoned, teetering over a sand trap on the 10th hole of a golf course. Golf pro Gene Siller, who had gone to investigate, was shot once in the head. He went over there to see what is this truck doing in the middle of the golf course and got shot. Police say he happened upon a crime. I mean, he was nosy and he went over there and he ran up on something he ain't supposed to be seeing. Roden faces 3 counts of murder, 3 counts of aggravated assault, and 2 counts of kidnapping. He is being held without bond. We know that. Now, there was no connection between Siller and Roden and the 2 other victims, investigators said. That's a lie. There was no connection between Siller that went over there and wanted to see what the truck doing in the middle of the golf course. But there was a connection between the other 2 guys that was in the back of the pickup truck. Now, they was bound and gagged, but I don't think they was dead yet until nosy dude went over there and got killed himself, which is just what happened. Now, the relationship between Roden and Valdez revolved around the weed trade. That's what Valdez's friend said, who lives in Los Angeles. He said Valdez was a broker who worked with a very small circle of people he trusted. One of those people was the aspiring rapper Roden. Roden was a nice guy. That's what the Valdez friend said. And Valdez felt comfortable doing business with the aspiring rapper, whose stage name is B. Rod. Roden and Valdez followed each other on Instagram. Guerrero, the dude, is Valdez's friend, considered Valdez a mentor. They met in a men's support group. Okay, you met the connect, and he out of there. Now Valdez said Guerrero felt no shame about what he did for a living. Once he said he overheard Valdez respond, drug dealer, when asked by a prospective landlord about his occupation. So Valdez is the man, the weed man, the connect. You can ask him to trying to get him a place to stay and move. What you do for a living? I sell weed. I'm a drug dealer. Okay. His friends say if anything, he was too open. Cannabis is a medicine. That's how he looked at it. Yeah, okay. Valdez had a dispensary, called it Hope for Humanity. That's a legal way to sell weed. It is legal in Georgia for select medical treatments only. Okay. According to public documents and confirmed by Valdez's friend, Valdez had did some jail time in Illinois for manufacturing and distributing more than 5,000 grams of cannabis. Pearson, a civil engineer, was a long-time associate of Valdez. Okay. Now, the truck that B-Rod was driving was registered to Pearson. Now, when asked about connection between Roden, Valdez, and Pearson, car police spokeswoman Shanice Barner said the office had not been provided that information. All right, well, we got it now. Say investigators provided few details. Pearson relatives have not responded. B-Rod's arrest Thursday was not his first brush with law enforcement. Now here's where it gets interesting. In January 2020, acting on a tip from another agency, the Atlanta Police Department's K-9 unit intercepted B-Rod as he boarded a plane to Los Angeles. Police seized more than $19,000 in drug money from B-Rod, who forfeited the cash after a police K-9 detected a scent of marijuana on it. So the weed, the drug dog smelled weed on the drug money, and B-Rod said, "Okay, I can keep that." So that means he forfeited it. Then that wasn't enough. He trying to get away, so this is what he did. B-Rod allegedly punched one officer with the Atlanta Police Department's airport drug interdiction unit and elbowed another. He was charged 2 days later in Clayton County, which has jurisdiction over the airport, with simple battery on police and obstructing an officer. He was released on $7,500 bond and entered a not guilty plea in August. The case is still pending. Then, B-Rod was arrested Thursday at the Chamblee Police Department, where he had gone to pick up a significant amount of money seized during a traffic stop 5 days earlier. So he just getting all his money took. Chamblee Police said Roden B-Rod had been stopped about 11:30 p.m. on July the 3rd, about 9 hours after Silla was shot, while driving a black Maserati with a temporary tag in the 5,000 block of Peachtree Boulevard. So he driving a Maserati. What this sound like to y'all so far? It sound like he kidnapped the Connect, and he had been working for him. Remember, he's an aspiring rapper. He had just did a show 2 days before the murder. So that's why I say, I don't know. I think he was kidnapping them to go get the big lick. And Mr. Siller interfered. So I don't know what he was doing on the golf course, unless they was already gone in the back of the truck. So that's kind of mysterious. So after he got stopped in a Maserati, he was booked in a DeKalb County jail on misdemeanor counts of DUI, a headlight violation, fake ID, driving without insurance, driving an unregistered vehicle, and using a license plate to conceal the identity of a vehicle. Man, how you driving a Maserati with all? Man, this story is crazy. B-Rod lawyer Bruce Harvey has cautioned against a rush to judgment. Man, what is he talking about? He declined comment about the case, saying in a statement that the defense's investigation of the shooting was ongoing. Oh, you talking about the shooting? Okay. All right. So This is his paid lawyer that he keep on payroll, because it says B-Rod lawyer Bruce Harvey represented him in 2016 when the then Georgia State University freshman was charged with shooting a 19-year-old in the chest following an attempted drug transaction. That's what I was telling y'all. He shot one of the campus college kids in the chest over some weed that he was selling, allegedly. The Fulton County District Attorney Office later declined to prosecute either party. It's unclear why. That's because they ain't come to court and testify. That's why. Connections. He had a paid lawyer. He kept on payroll. So the boy wasn't broke. B-Rod. Back in California, Valdez's tight-knit circle of friends have leaned on each other as they process the news. He liked to take care of everyone, Guerrero said. You hear about people who give you the shirt off their back. That was Henry. Henry had that. Henry was the connect. Yep, Henry was an extraordinary man. He was always the first to say yes when someone needed his help. The first to say yes to volunteer for those less fortunate. Yeah, okay, Henry was the Robin Hood. So, that is the case that's going on with B-Rod and 3 deceased people. 2 of them, one was the weed man, the connect. He owned the dispensary. And B-Rod was the aspiring rapper. And you know how this story goes. We see what it is. B-Rod wanted to hit that lick. And he had kidnapped. And the other 76-year-old guy that was in the back of the truck with the connect, he must have been the transport guy. And Mr. Siller, the golf pro, ran up on the scene. So, do y'all think B-Rod was on the golf course to dispose of the bodies? Or did he kill them after he was busted from Mr. Siller, the golf pro? So that's 3 people dead. 2 of them in the drug trade. Well, 3 of them in the drug trade. 1 to connect, 1 to Courier, and B-Rod was the seller. But he wanted it all. And this is all my personal opinion. And that's what makes this story so crazy, that it involves Atlanta rapper, always rapper, and 3 dead people. So that's an update, because I had dropped the story a couple of weeks back when it first happened with no details. But these are some hella details. And we'll wait till B-Rod speaks. True. Before I go, let me show y'all this newscast. True.
Tell you, it turns out the suspect was not on the loose for all that long. He was actually arrested in Chamblee on a DUI just hours after the murders. Now, I want to give you a look at the mugshot. This is the most recent one we have of him. He was transferred here to the jail overnight. It was most likely fingerprints from that DUI that allowed investigators to connect the dots. And that's not all I'm uncovering. According to the arrest warrant, investigators believe when 23-year-old Brian Roden drove onto the golf course at the Pine Tree Country Club Saturday, 2 men he had kidnapped, 76-year-old Paul Pearson and 46-year-old Henry Valdez, were tied up and concealed in the covered bed of the pickup truck. The warrant shows detectives believe Roden had bound their hands, legs, and mouth with tape. When the club's golf course manager, Gene Siller, went to figure out why the truck was on the course, according to police, that's when Roden shot and killed him. The warrant shows Roden also shot and killed the kidnapped men, although it's not clear whether that was before or after Siller stumbled upon the crime scene. I've learned Roden is a 2015 graduate of Campbell High School in Smyrna, where he played football and ran track. From there, he went to Georgia State University, where in 2016, he ran into trouble. As we reported, he was accused of trying to sell marijuana to two teenagers and then getting into a shootout with them. At the time, I spoke with some GSU freshmen who lived in the same dorm.
We know of him, we see him around and stuff like that.
I think maybe he lives here?
He does.
He's very popular. He was charged with several felonies, but then released on a signature bond. There's no record of a conviction. A Fulton County court spokesman tells me those records are now sealed, but he couldn't say why. Georgia does have what's called the First Offender Act, which gives defendants with no felony record a second chance. Fast forward to December of 2019, when one of our colleagues interviewed Roden about holiday shopping, not knowing about his GSU case, asking him about the crowded mall.
It is a lot of maneuvering through the corners, you know. I can look you in your eyes and know I'm dead wrong.
The latest was from June. It features his album called Made It Out. He also shows off some of his live performances, the latest posted 2 days before the murder.